Greetings everyone, please give a moment to make sure everything's set on up. Looks like everything's booting up just fine. Look at the live chat windows. Okay, that's all good. And looks like that's all booted on up. Give me a moment to check my other computer. And looks like that's all good as well, so let's go ahead and get started. Greetings everyone, and Greg here with another Advanced Wars Days Ruin Tiny Wars replay. So on the bottom left side as the red, the beast, we got Jean Bat, it's 13. Small on top right side as the blue Isabella, we got Greyfield Guy. When it comes to this map, it is a 3-base map, 1 airport, 1 seaport, that's mostly meant for transports. Isabella's of course a CO that's been nerfed from the cartridge counterpart, has standard boarding cost to 30, 60, 60. All units get additional plus 20% offense and plus 7% defense, and of course all units get plus 2 movement range and plus 1 indirect maximum range. The Beast is technically a custom CO in Tiny Wars. Standard boarding cost 3, 30, 60, 60. All units get additional plus 10. All special units, which are mechs, infantry, bikes, and recons, and flares, get additional 20% offense. And at the end of their turn in a CO zone, you get to seal that next turn's income. It has both power and superpower. Both cost the same amount, so choose one situation. Of course, all units get plus 10. All special units get plus 20% offense, additional 2 movement, and 2 vision, and can see through hidings. Of course, you can start raiding globally. Or you get the standard plus 10, plus 20% offense, and of course you get tripled income, denied income the next 3 turns rather than just 1 turn, and allows you from any property, both neutral as well as your own, so you can pay for it yourself, or just start getting fundings immediately on neutral property, or just really seal your opponents. I think the raiding one's much more fun, but in a fog war game such as this, the scouting one's probably a little bit better. We got double infantry. Both flares do start with a gunboat for basic landing, as well as they do also start with additional gunboat on their HQ, which you can CO it at any point in time for no good reason. The Beast, of course, does focus on a handful of specialty units, the cheaper raiding units. Howdy, howdy. And so, it's probably a good idea. While you can still always load up a regular tank, you'll still do quite well in a regular tank. You can always load himself up in a recon and start being aggressive. Bikes, I think, is pretty common for the Beast, since it still allows them to capture. And flares, well, flares are always disturbingly powerful. I don't know why. But I rarely ever seen him get loaded up in a flare. More infantry in general. Both flares right now, or the Beast has 3,000 income, so just going to go with another pair of infantry this turn. Nothing much to really say about the capturing game, other than the fact the Beast is going straight for this comp tower. It is technically meant for the north and south side, but they are contestable. Triple infantry by the Beast. And Isabel did go for a pair of bikes last time and did commit base skip. Though base skip is not too uncommon in Tiny Wars as opposed to Advanced Wars by web. One, infantry just far more expensive. Costing extra 500 funds really does add up. It really does interrupt a lot of build orders of even just building infantry. After all, in a map where you start out with 2 bases in HQ, capturing a 3rd base doesn't actually give you enough income to pull out a 3rd infantry. You have a recon deployed in the field, so you maybe on CO with starting next turn, but you can always delete the gunboat and seal on the HQ later on. And the Beast could actually go for this comm tower as well. He has this comm tower, start capturing up his properties here. Maybe it would be better to go for this one. But seeing how far he pushed over here, you would assume his opponent pushed it that far as well. You can use your own movement to estimate your opponent's movement if you sort of lose track. Plus, you never know what your opponent may do. You have now a tank deployed by Isabel. She may just seal it or delete the gunboat and seal it later. The Beast did move his recon forward. We've got a flare in bike and bike. A little bit early for a flare, honestly. Flares will usually come a little bit later when you usually see tanks first, but he did have only 1,500 left over and still get 2 bikes in the field. Isabel did in fact seal the tank, and Isabel's now kept in the right comm tower. Rig. Rig is definitely an interesting call. I think it's too early for Rig, unless she's going to try to push forward with mech. She may go heavy mech play. Hard to say. Artillery is quite nice though. And she did commit another base skip. Oh, deletes the gunboat. Goes for anti-air T-copter mech and commits space skip. He is ahead by 4 units. I don't count the gunboat on the HQ, especially when the Beast deletes his own. He does have machine on this forest here. And he's going to seal this recon this turn. He does have 16,000 funds. Seals the recon. And the Beast has some good targets of opportunity in front of him. This infantry unit can be interrupted. There's enough targets nearby to take it out, but of course you need to spot it first. You have mech, bike, battlecopter, and commit space skip. Rig is boosting infantry unit forward. Does get trapped. And does donate Isabel some energy. Does interrupt this capture while at it. Very good recon pass there. Mech. Looks like a mech for the gunboat. Tank, battlecopter. Of course, the mech will take 2 turns to get that gunboat. Lots of units over here. Good amount of energy he can obtain. 19,000 income. He can go for some nice stuff. Battlecopter, tank, mech, and commit space skip. And the mech's going to be right there, so it's take probably a turn for the gunboat to get back there. And then be loaded by the mech. As this is technically deploying out a temporary seaport, but you may not complete it. Also, it's sort of a good idea to get a temporary airport somewhere around here, so you get a forward spot to repair your battlecopters. Lander, another rig, and tank. Rig, another rig's interesting. Get some energy right now for the Beast. Pulls back the recon. Battlecopter's heading up north. Goes for tank, anti-air tank. And actually did fully complete the seaport. That's interesting, the temporary seaport. I was also not expecting that. I guess he wants a forward resupply point, because if you travel back and forth, it actually can be a little bit difficult getting some resupplies. I don't know, you have to load from the seaport. I'm thinking a different map. Battleship. Whoa. Release gunboat. Is Isabel trying to go for double temporary seaport to get battleships down here? Okay, now that's interesting. Can't say that's a great idea, but it's certainly a idea. The beast does get 19 energy. Right now Isabel's is 16 energy. This mech is in range of that command tank, just needs it to be spotted. Does pull back. Battle Patrol forward. I think it may have been spotted there. No. Oh yeah, perhaps because it can't hide above the city, and I think it went over it. Of course, we do have an anti-air somewhat close by. Lander, tank, or bike. Try and flip that city there. Does get trapped there and donates that energy. Isabel's up with a nice 24 energy. Battleship strikes the bike, finish off the said bike. And yeah, she's going for double temporary seaport, so now the blue water ships can start going towards the column tower and provide some good fire support. But the battleship, while it has good presence down south, can just simply, just not advance this region, will neutralize the battleship. But don't think the battleship's a great idea. Guess we'll find out soon enough. Mech is a good strike there, boosted from the CO. Slightly moves it forward, hits the rig there, delayed the deployment of the temporary seaport by 1 turn. Of course, that anti-air will likely going down, though there's not any helicopters in this area to engage. One way over here, or battlecopters, I should say. Looks like it will not interrupt the capture goals from medium tank, and bike. Medium tank will be very useful right now up here. Couple mechs up north. Does get some good strikes there. Hits the mech, hits the infantry. Does take a fair amount of damage down there. 45 energy. Has enough energy to get a CO power deployed next turn. But not deploying out would be a great idea. The Vision 1 would be very nice to help clear out up here. Howdy. Thank you. Tank does get a good strike there. Pulls back the mech. 60 energy. And does go for the full superpower and steals, raids his own HQ for monies. Gotta put those monies in the bag. Steals some money there. Does get more money there. How much? He is raiding a lot. He's up to 40,000. Probably should keep an eye on that. Good strike there. More monies there. Gets good strike on that anti-air. Hits that unit there. Steals more monies there. And more monies there. Up to 49,000. Let's see, he can end his units on his own properties over here to get paid for it if he wants to, like that. And that, up to 55,000, make that 58,000. What is he going to pull out this turn? Bomber, medium tank. Oh! Bomber, medium tank, medium tank, medium tank. Oh god. I do know his income's now down to 20,000 per turn, because he did raise some of his own properties, as well as at 24,000, so not too terrible. Did complete the temporary air seaport. Interrupts the capture. Wait, Isabella goes for double battleship, so she's forfeiting this entire flank, it looks like. Does spot the flare there. Stole the monies from the neutral city. Yeah, double battleship I think was a horrible idea. Got missile, anti-air, flare. He knows the amount of raids, so he probably does expect a bomber. Does interrupt the capture there. Bomber advancing. Mech for the T-copter. Hits the artillery. As well as can pull out her superpower next turn. Which would give her battleships +1 indirect range. infantry, tank, battlecopter, and mech. And there's a superpower. +2 range, +1 indirect range, not to mention a little bit extra firepower and defense globally. So she'll make good headways over here. But the medium tank's a bomber could easily turn around. There's 2 anti-airs the beast has to worry about, a full health and a 2 health one. The beast does lose his CO unit. He can probably load the battlecopter just to get something going quickly. You can always load something up with the HQ itself, but that's not available immediately. Double flare straight forward, tank, battlecopter, artillery. Those Locust mech there, just get it going. It does at least get additional firepower. Bomber slowly advances way forward. He sees the full health anti-air. That's a high priority target. Once that's neutralized, then his bombers can just simply reign supreme. Or at least the bombs just rain down. One of the 3 options. Gets the bike up there, pulling back some units to get some repairs. Tank recon. Now, the list of the T-copter, the mech can get to the front line pretty quickly as well. Does find the medium tank, does strike the medium tank for a good amount of damage. Takes out anti-air, which is needed for taking out the battlecopter right now. Battleship actually need to fall back, get some ammo. Greg scouting way forward, spots a medium tank. It will give the beast some firepower charge to work with. Does take out the tank there. Hits the medium tank there. The beast will get some good amount of power charge. The anti-air that he has to worry about is way down here with that coverage. Does not take out the anti-air. Strikes the command tank twice. You'll be able to 5 health next turn. Does go for a full fighter. That's not worth it. It's probably, in my opinion, better go for. It's more economical to go for dusters. Or fighters are simply outright better. Sometimes you just don't need that extra firepower. Good strikes there. Keeping the bomber in range. He wants to take out the anti-air before the bomber gets sent on in. Number of properties being captured. Joint captures there as well. Don't worry about that. 23,000 versus 30,000. The no income status has largely subsided. And Isabel does have pretty good economic lead on the field. Anti-tank, medium tank, and regular tank. Gets a good shot there. Fully stops it, spots the anti-air, and will take a first strike there. Does take some damage in turn. 2 capture frogs remaining, so this will be flipped. The beast right now has 48 energy. Fighter heading up north, which will be a hard counter to this battlecopter. I'm not sure if you've seen the missile yet. Battlecopter is out of range of the missile. Medium tank, or tank. It's a good shot there. Interrupts the capture. Good shot there. Battlecopter strikes battlecopter. She has enough for another superpower. The beast will not be able to apply a superpower next turn. Not enough targets in front of him unless he advances forward. At least the unit did not donate any power. Goes for a cruiser. Player mech. Right now, the day-to-day income's a bit of a problem for the beast. Good shot there. Does spot the command tank. Will strike it. Put some rounds there. Fighter takes out the battlecopter. Does not take out the unit there, and the missile is one tile out of range, but for superpower, it will be in range. So the +1 indirect range is going to be useful. Also, slightly useful for this one. It will strike the 3 health mech. How damning. Also, superpower takes the fighter there with the missile, so the missile definitely paid for itself now. Charging way forward, it's a bit of a clean sweep up north, though the beast still has actually no, still a decent amount of forces, but nothing to really push forward with. Strikes the mech. Picks up the mech. The beast has enough targets in front of him to get a superpower, but what would it accomplish? He could probably use it to steal some money again. He could pop a superpower, but he doesn't have too many specialty units on the field. T-copter down to 18 fuel. Bike, and battle copter. Paul going to try to get more specialty units there for his superpower. Battleships could have fixed up that mech real nice. Poor bike, a 2 HP for a flimsy decision. Yep. Bomber? Wait, no, that's still the same battleship. Infantry, and bomber. Ghost of the Beast is not eyeing for superpower. Does deploy a temporary airport, which would be nice for that said bomber. Was infantry, medium tank, and infantry, and another battle copter. The beast does have quite a bit of income disparity, as well as has a much higher force, 182 versus 162. We saw a regular tank there. Battleships have been providing good coverage, but they can only provide so much coverage, and that time sort of passed. No superpower there by the beast. Puts the bomber in temporary report, so that will be topped off. There's an anti-tank. That would be a great target for the bomber. And also really wants to stay away from this. The meat thing really needs to get out of there. Of course, this is our castle vision. Battlecopter need to be struck by the anti-tank, which is largely based off, I think, the Flak 88. So it is technically a Flak. As well as the command tank is run forward. Anti-air get a good strike there. Does not use the anti-tank there. The anti-tank pushes way forward. Something tells me the beast is going to go for superpower, go for the movement and spotting. Because that will at least allow him to spot up here, charge for the bike. Yes, good number of medium tanks and regular tanks nearby. Bomber's a little bit out of range, I believe. Missile anti-air tank. Pops a vision superpower. Get some good strikes there. It takes a flare. Hits a tank. Does not spot the missile. Recon strikes anti-tank. Does spot the missile now. Does spot the tank. Bomber's rotating around, trying to avoid the missile. Does get some raiding done. It's the flare there. Does not enter the range of the rocket, and the command tank is down, and nothing on top of the HQ. Infantry, tank. Only 7,000 in the bank. Bomber gets good strike there. I don't know if he's any anti-airs on the field. Yeah, he does have one way back here. He lost the fighter course to the missile. Taking quite a bit of a tank counterattack there. Anti-tank still in range. Does hit the medium tank quite nicely. Bomber, tank, and mech. Pulls back some units there. Battlecopter strikes Battlecopter. Anti-air is struck by the bomber. Mech is good strike there on the anti-tank. Good strike there on the medium tank. Mech. Rocket missile. I was half expecting a duster. Does take out the regular tank with the battleships. Both battleships are now fully vetted. Takes out the bomb there with the missile. You saw that missile there previously. May have thought it moved. The beast is getting pretty wounded, has half the value that Isabella has, again, and just goes ahead and resigns. Ms. Angrade saying, "Keep watching," and on to the next replay. Greetings everyone, and Great here with another Advanced Wars Days of Ruin Tiny Wars replay. Spawn on the left side as the dark gray Lin. We got Ari 32. Spawn on the right side as the purple Lee. We got Lucas Ryuka. When it comes to COs, of course, Lee is a custom CO, use a Valkyria Chronicles skin. Gregor. Standard boarding cost 3, 30, 60, 60. All units in the CO zone gives +10/+10, and also they get +1 movement. Additionally, all units for Superpower gets a nice simple +10/+10 and +2 movement. So nice and simple, but very powerful day to day, which actually I've never seen him super great. That seems really powerful, but I've never seen him perform immense. Just okay. And Lin's course is unchanged for the cartridge counterpart. Standard boarding cost 1 radius 30, 60, 60. All units get additional +10/+10. All ground units get additional +20/+20. So she loads up herself in a tank. That tank will get additional 30/+30/+30 with the max out efficiency, so it'll be a total +50/+50. All units get, of course, for Superpower gets +10/+10. Ground units get additional +20/+20, and close course gets +2 vision range and see through hiding places. A bit more competent Sonya. This map is a 3-base map. One airport does the strong side, weak side mechanic. The weak side does have good amount of mountains and other terrain for defensive positioning, and of course a little bit airport for some bit of air support. Also capturing the cities behind, and then while Lee's going forward. Just more infantry at the moment. Isabel now has, or Lin has 6,000 income, so she can go for a bike. Bike infantry. And we've got bike double infantry as well. Goes for a recon. She may CO herself in that recon, but maybe not. There is HQ somewhat a little forward. You can always CO units here. And it's also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tiles away. Perfect for pushing forward for tank. Lee does load himself in a bike there, pushing right there. That's actually a good spot because it allows to get units pushed forward quickly. Potentially 2 turns from this base, 1 turn from this base. It's not a go for a relative speed nut. She does load herself up into a recon to help reconnoiter the area. Bike, and infantry. Moves around 2 unweighted units there, allowing to push them forward as well. Very nice. Recon heading to the center. Of course, won't be able to see through hiding, but may pick off a strike infantry unit. Tank, bike, and mech. Artillery on the weak side. Also got some mechs going across the mountain. That was spot a bike there, so that's maybe Lee's or Lynn's first target there. It's 9 energy. Got another artillery, tank, and commits base skip. Does get trapped there. I'm not sure if she saw that tank head into the city. Don't believe she did. Did take a pretty good hit there from the mech, so the recon needs to back off either way. Interior tank and mech. Energy now for Lynn, but she's probably going to be knocked out by the tank there. That's in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tiles away. Taking out 1 health infantry is going to be no problem. Maybe even able to do it for 1 health infantry unit. Nice 1-2 punch, but that tank will be going down, and she will CO this tank there. And that tank is in range of the other tank as well, so she's probably going to seal the tank, strike that other tank, and then probably finish off with another tank. And assuming our tank's got triple tanks, seals tank, hits tank. She could try machine gunning down with infantry, but that's not probably going to be likely. Lee right now has 18 energy. Does get passed on the infantry unit on top of the city. Gets a boost strike there. Back of the 15 energy versus 20 energy. Lee can get quite a bit of power charge this turn. A lot of targets in front of him. 35 energy. Pulls back there. 43 energy. Definitely need some more reinforcements in the center, but luckily these tanks can help out with that. There's an artillery piece there. Battlecopter, mech, flare, and bike. Lynn does have an anti-air in this region, since that's where the airport is, but send the anti-airs down south. Probably a good idea to end the anti-air behind this mountain so we can go north or south. Infantry unit there, could probably finish off the 1 health infantry unit, so it doesn't get an extra blocker. Battlecopter, tank, and bike. He's at 14 or 44 energy. He can get a superpower this turn. Pops the superpower immediately, so his infantry units are able to sprint 2 tiles forward, which is good for the mechs. Tank managed to sweep on in as well. Battlecopter hitting the center. Does take up the tank there. Lynn already has a tank on top of the HQ, so she has a quick reinforcement spot. Currently it's only just +10/+10 global, so Lynn can do counterattacks reasonably. Mech, tank, bike, and another battlecopter. There's a lot of mechs there, and with the CO unit nearby, it's probably a good idea maybe not to charge forward. Does CO the tank there. Just getting a nice core tank there. Goes for a rocket, bike, and mech. Does hit that bike there. 20 now. Lynn has 26,000 income versus 22,000. Let's push forward. One of those things is quite wounded now. It'd probably be best to move her command tank last. Let her the push from the flanks first. Does hit the anti-air. Yep, does get a boost strike there. Pulls back wounded tank to finish that off. Gets a nice strike there. Great use of the CO zone. Get as much CO zone coverage first. Of course, there's a number of mechs in that region. Hits the bike. And starting to push forward to capture those northern properties. Mech, anti-air tank, and another battlecopter. Does hit the infantry unit there, allowing her to capture the other city next turn. Mech's a good strike there on the tank. Tank does not get finished off there, but 2 health tank can finish it off. Machine gun down. He's up to 23 energy. Tank, medium tank, bike. Lynn has a lot of targets in front of her. She can probably generate enough power charge for superpower this turn. Actually, no, there's exactly 29 energy in front of her. So if she really wants to, she can pop a superpower this turn, but she moves her command tank. Rocket advance to the HQ. It'd be a dangerous thing if it gets loaded up with a CO. But her CO unit's pretty far forward. A couple 5 health mechs gonna hit her and a full health tank. Does strike with a battlecopter. Meteor hits battlecopter. He's going to get some good power charge this turn. And Lynn does lose her command tank. Could seal the rocket, which would be very strong to say the least. Anti-air bike, infantry, and another battlecopter. Does seal the tank there, not the rocket. There's the battlecopter there. Pulls back her tanks. Don't think that rocket's been scouted out just yet. Tank, bike, mech, another battlecopter. Drone captures down south. Pasta superpower. Medium tank charge way forward. Hits the tank there, but unranged the artillery. Manages to reach around and hit the artillery. Battlecopter nearby though. Anti-air, however, is nearby as well. Spots everything there, including the rocket. Gets a pretty good hit there. Hits the battlecopter as well. Hits the anti-air twice. Battlecopter, bike, flare, and bike. Let's look at the battlecopter there. Finish off some outlying units there. Our command tank's a little bit exposed. The anti-air maybe reach that battlecopter. Yes, it is. Tank, infantry, and bomber. Takes out a good number of stuff up there. That bomber needs to strike that anti-air the best it can. Anti-air bike. And tank. Does see those units. It's the bike there. We'll strike the artillery piece. Ah, got it. So that's the English. It was just the English and Japanese name for Lucas. I think there's a lot of protagonists whose name is Lucas. I don't know why. Does spot the bomber at the last moment. So, that anti-air going down. Got another anti-air up north. Battlecopter strike Lynn's tank there, and the other tank as well. Could probably merge those together. Never mind. And there's nothing down south to engage the battlecopters on the sea, actually, so it needs some anti-airs. Strikes the mech as well. It's that mech there. Okay, so the anti-air does not spot this anti-air and pushes too far forward. The anti-air will get a good strike on the bomber, but the bomber needs to be doing something, to say at least. Good shot there. Does join there. Up to 39 energy. Anti-air tank. Bomber's heading down south of the winter. Good damage on that tank, and does take out the tank there, so no superpower for Lynn again. Lee's been doing a great job denying it. When it comes to battle in the field, 104 versus 99, so they're still pretty even. Lynn does have a little bit of extra income to work with. Battlecopter, tank, bike, and infantry. It does CO the rocket there. If the tanks are not working, just CO the rocket. Still wounded, but should do some good work. A lot of targets in front of it. The anti-air down south only has a 1 health bike as a meat shield, so that can easily be overran, but no tanks to exploit it though. Strikes the anti-air there, but does spot the anti-air, the other anti-air at the exact wrong moment. Decides to push for the battlecopter there just to get a bit of damage onto that medium tank, since the anti-air is going to be distracted by the bomber. Bomber does go down, hits the regular tank there, trying to capture that property as well as that property. This tank cannot interrupt that capture, but cannot strike the tank either. Let's look at that unit there. Lee has 30 energy now. And with the plus from moon range, managed to strike that anti-air. Lee's been doing very well for CO unit. Let's look at the unit there. Does take out that unit there. Mech managed to interrupt the capture. Battlecopter strikes regular tank or medium tank. Finish off the medium tank. Hits the flare. Hits the tank there. Hits the battlecopter. Takes out that tank as well. Anti-air, tank, infantry, and battlecopter. Tank, infantry, flare, and battlecopter. There's another round of that battlecopter, slowly picking apart. Does take it out there. Rocket advanced. I don't think it was spotted in its advance. Takes that infantry unit again, interrupt the capture a little bit further. Takes up the anti-air. Pulls back the tank. Got 2 health and a full health anti-air. He then does spot the full health anti-air. Tank, infantry, and battlecopter. Spots the regular tank there on top of this property. Lee has enough for another superpower, but maybe if he doesn't need the +2 moon range, he can just simply save it for another turn. Plus 10% global is nice, but nothing critical. Battlecopter, bike. Good shot there. As well, so as 25,000 income was 24. Oh, there's the superpower. Flare sprints his way forward. Battlecopter as well. Infantry unit scouts the tank. Will find the anti at the exact wrong moment. Finds a 1 health mech and gets trapped there. That's actually quite important getting trapped like that. Or should not try to advance over the hiding spots. It's more likely where units are going to be rusting. You can make a gamble on plains and roads, but it's probably a bad idea to gamble onto cities and forests. And a lot of trapped units there, which is not good for Lee, which could be very problematic. Not to mention, Isabel can get some good aura boosts near here. Tracks that unit there, picks it off with a mech, picks off the infantry there, lots of power charge, 49. Surrounds her rocket now. That was a efficient anti-air there. Guess I can't range. No, I can easily range that. Maybe with the after -2 moon range. Yeah, the battlecopter placement there is not great since it's in range the anti-air, unless he wants to lure the anti-air in for power charge. We'll spot the battlecopter now, hits the anti-air twice, hits the battlecopter once. Isabel is at 56 energy, so she just needs 4 energy to get her superpower. But she'll have to sack the turn of the rocket, not to mention a lot of her units is getting quite wounded. But additional 30% firepower on all of our ground units, plus able to spot through hiding spots, could be very good. She may pop a superpower this turn, guess we'll wait and see. Does not, decides to take out the capturing infantry unit. It's the battlecopter. It's the battlecopter. It's the medium tank. Shoots the medium tank down with machine gun bullets. I guess she didn't really need her superpower this turn. This turn was pretty productive for her. since it provides good vision range and spotting and seeing through hiding places, it's not a bad superpower if you don't know where your opponent is, since that's its job. And then if you just sort of waste it, at least if you charge forward, you know where your opponent is and is not. So her wasting her superpower is nothing critical. Would be nice not to waste, of course, but sometimes the intelligence itself is worth the value. We're going to see her superpower this time, I'm guessing. Or not. I was mistaken. It is a pretty powerful CO Zone aura, and now it's up 3 greatest, so it's very usable. Sacks the anti-air there, hits the battlecopter twice. Bike, flare, tank, and another battlecopter. 149,000 versus 91. There's the battlecopter there. Hits the tank there, up to 32 energy. Tank. Interrupts the capture once again. Takes out that infantry unit there. Battlecopter strikes bike. And that one as well. Takes out the tank. 9 capture marks remaining, so it'll be down to 1. As well, you count how much energy Lee has. Make sure you stay outside the zone so there's no superpower. And Lee's superpower's increased movement range is very nice. And Adder, it's basically Adder's superpower. Because you get the +2 movement range and of course +10 global. So it basically is Adder's superpower. Should I just start calling Sidewinder? I know those COs have their own names for their superpowers, you just don't see in the replay or how I've been looking them up. The artillery up north is now going to be in range. Yep, something tells me this is a good time for Lynn's superpower. Does not go for right there. Does get trapped there. Does not see the rocket. Goings there. Rocket pushes way forward, trying to push forward the CO zone. She's putting more out in the CO zone. Good kills there. Infantry, bike, tank, and bomber. It's the anti-air there. Anti-air. Decides to take a shot there from the side when using CO zone to get some power charge and energy charge. Hits the battlecopter, hits the flare. And Lee's starting to disintegrate right now. Tank. Hoss superpower there, so it gets +2 range. Takes out battlecopter. Tank hits artillery. Does spot the CO rocket. artillery, war tank, and mech. It's starting for like that. Lynn's contacts are just going to be immense. I'll flip that property as well. It's the rocket there for a bit of damage, but of course we mostly repaired on up. Lynn's southern flank's not super great at the moment. But needs another anti-air down there. Anti-air tank and bike. Interrupts that capture. In case of the battle copter. Lots of things going down south. Another war tank, anti-air mech. Just gonna track down that battle copter. Takes out Lee's command bike. One of these war tanks may just get CO'd. And Lynn's trying to capture some more properties in the center there. Just 27,000 versus 22,000. Pops superpower. Sees the war tank. Bombs the war tank. Hits the war tank. Sees the anti-air. And blocks the anti-air from engaging the bomber, though I think that is still in range. Yep, it's still in range. The war tank of North may just get CO'd. Got 49,000 versus 177, so Lee is very behind, but looks like he's just going to play out to the end. Goes to a rocket down south, or up north, going 3 directions. Bomber strikes a war tank. And Lee does go ahead and resign, as Angrid saying, "Thank you for watching," and on to the next replay. Before I get started next replay, I do need to use your restroom. Please give me a moment. My apologies, I'm back. Let's see now. Next game will be... That's one I just did. Just want to make sure. Yep, this should be fine. Greetings everyone, and Great here with another Advanced Wars Days of Ruin Tiny Wars replay. So on the right side as the blue Cyrus, we got Cyrus Guy. I think I've been seeing a lot of these guys been popping on up. So on the left side as the red Calder, we got Jean Bat 13. This map is a 3-base map, 2 airport, 1 or technically 2 seaport, but really the seaport is not really used whatsoever. Calder is reworked from the CO cartridge counterpart. I really think there should be a minus next to the symbol, because it is definitely Lord you can just view it as a nerf rather than rework, honestly. I call it a rework because there's no minus there. We got standard boarding cost, only 2 radius, no expansion, no energy, and only provides plus 25% for all units, and plus 2 health recovery cost funds each turn. No power nor superpower. Cyrus is a custom CO for Tiny Wars. Standard boarding cost, 3 radius, 30, 60, 60. All units get additional about 15%. And for superpower, your CO unit gets unleveled and completely unleveled. Your CO may reboard any unweighted unit at no cost, so you can tech up your CO unit. And then you get a weak missile silo you can designate any specific target of your choosing. So, we got a father-son battle here. And infantry bike, you do start a little bit extra property, so you can go for bikes immediately. Bike infantry. And both sides immediately trying to steal the opponent's property. They start off in the corner. There is an HQ in the middle of the map, which is in a perfect distance to park a battlecopter on top of it. Or Duster. Bike infantry. Infantry. Another pair of infantry. We do have another pair of bikes for Calder and another infantry unit. Bike. There's also a pair of temporary airports instead of the map, as well as radar stations. Radar stations do provide 3 stars, but of course these only provide 2 stars. Radar stations do provide income. Generally, almost every capture property in Days of Ruin provides income, barring the temporary airport and seaport. And compared to, say, previous Advanced Wars game, particularly Dual Strike and Advanced Wars by Web, where pretty much the fancy properties such as column towers do not provide income, and lab towers, lab maps, lab structures, lab properties. There we go. Calder does load himself up to a bike there. Nice cheap option, since you don't have to worry about losing your CO unit all too much. You can be a bit more aggressive CO. Not have to worry about any superpower to charge up for. Tank, bike. Tank, bike, infantry. Probably, I just never really looked around for it. Probably some sort of menu option. Tank, bike. Another bike. Let's take a bike up north. Of course, this bike will be up to 8 health next turn. Of course, got a tank nearby. Trying to flip the radar station now, which could be interrupted by this infantry unit there to get on top of the mountainside. Looks like Cyrus is making some good gains. Ends turn of 73,000. Calder starts with 60,000, so he has a pretty good advantage right now. Another tank to help stabilize the southern flank. It's that infantry unit there. It's the command bike. Infantry tank and another tank. Good strike sound south, hits the unit on the mountain side. Nothing really stopped the tank at this exact moment. The other tank's taking a bit of time. Cyrus going for a good number of tanks down up north as well. Calder has 3 tanks as well. Battlecopter, bike, and bike. 90,000 versus 19,000 income. Tank, tank, tank. It's that bike there. Size of the 33 and just gets +1 CO zone. And for all these mounted sides, it's going to be hard to break through this tank. So this tank could be double tapped. This one could be struck once. And if Calder wants to push this bike forward to get a CO zone benefits, he's going to have to stop capturing there. Down south, got multiple tanks and battlecopters here. Calder needs to capture the battlecopter. It does fully capture the property there. Not eyeing to push forward the CO zone just yet. Anti-air down south. Another anti-air up north of a tank. Is that one of those tanks there? Strikes that tank, but we'll get a bit of recovery. Gotta mention the attack and defense benefits. Couple hits there on those tanks down south. It's a central capturing bike. Tank, bike, battlecopter, and commits base skip. Is that one of those tanks? Does not interrupt the capture here. Alderson get a pretty good group of tanks here, and with the CO zone, could just simply easily steamroll forward. Here appears to be in range of that battlecopter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If this tank goes down, which is very easy, the battlecopter can easily go down as well. So the battlecopter, I think, was pushed too far forward. Right now, Calder's losing quite a bit of ground down south. Infantry, battlecopter, and another tank. Good kills there. Starts at 55 energy. He's probably on some of the weak silos somewhere up here. You can easily get a superpower next turn at the current rate. Yep, that stuff's going to be grouped on up, receive a missile, and then Calder's Aura will repair it up, but he's going to be eating a lot of repair costs. So that's not got the superpower just yet. Medium tank. It may pop a superpower. Let's just go and tech up into the medium tank. Plus, if he stalls out a turn, he can perhaps attack with the wounded units there rather than being covered from the aura benefits. And it does capture the southern temporary airport for this battlecopter. Won't really accomplish them all too much though. Good hits in the center. Moving tanks down south, bit of a front switch. Got anti-air bike tank. Here comes the superpower. Yep, strucks up north. Probably going to CO the medium tank. No, CO's this battlecopter right there. I see the metal. Which at first I always thought was an exclamation point when I was growing up. And then one day I realized, oh wait, no, that's a medal, not an exclamation point. I swear, an exclamation point would be just as fitting as a medal. Tank, tank, tank. Strikes his that Cyrus Battlecopter twice and now thrice. Strikes the Battlecopter down south. Starts making good headway down south. Calder now has 20,000 income versus 26. He needs to get more units capturing the center properties. Go for tank, medium tank. Battlecopter anti-air. No, the seaport has never been captured yet. No, it's being captured up now. Tank anti-air. War tank down south. Does strike the medium tank multiple times up the north, hits that bike. Does not finish off with a 2 health or 4 health bike. Time to get the more forward repairs going. And infantry as well. And commits another base skip. So they've got a handful of properties still despicably neutral, so there's this city and this city here. The radar station here is well added. I think Cyrus is starting to overextend a little bit in the center here. A couple of those tanks will be going down. There's a medium tank nearby, plus anti-air to take out the Battlecopter. And this regular tank here will be repaired up to 7. Battlecopter infantry down south. Does easily pick off that unit there, pulls back that unit there. So spice that 7 health tank, then strike the 7 health tank. Bike, another medium tank down south, trying to just tech up to deal with all the tanks. Cyrus's Battlecopter pushing up, does hit the anti-air. Of course, will be repaired, does merge the tanks there. Bomber, infantry, and Battlecopter or bike. Hits the anti-air twice. Hits the command Battlecopter there. Tank, bike, and anti-air. Medium tank does strike the medium tank there. Gets good first strike, but of course will be not resupplied since it's outside the aura there. And this anti-air will be up to 3 health. Should be able to reach around and hit the command copter from behind. We do have a bomber here. It's going to pose problems, though we do have 2 anti-airs here. One max veterancy. Cyrus's Battlecopter does go down there. 22 versus 26,000 income. He even shoots the medium tank a little bit there. May need to plug this hole there. The anti-air could be struck by this tank there, so I don't think that's a great idea. I think the medium tank should have been on top of the temporary airport. Though it does find the same defense stars. And just simply plug up the hole. But the bomber still poses a bit of a threat down there. Seals the medium tank over here. Another tank. Hits the anti-air with the bomber. The anti-airs at the 4 health. Both of them be at 6 health, which them combined should be able to take out that bomber entirely. We do have a Duster in the field, which will be useful against the battle couplers, and also decent for strafing all the infantry. 126,000 versus 116. Power's just constant presence there. Decides not to send the 8 health tank into the 8 health tank. No CO zone to support him. Hits the bomber twice. Probably could have let the wounded anti or the unvetted anti to get the strike there. Machine gun down that tank there. It may have trapped this gunboat, but now itself trapped. I suppose the gunboat was already trapped there. They're just even more trapped. Gunboats cannot, in fact, go up mountains. Fun fact. And we've got a lander and gunboat pushing forward. This lander is down to 31 fuel, has plenty of fuel to hold the beach. Though this battlecopter and bomber does go for another bomb down here. ATR squad just find some cities that can be repaired on up. They'll still be useful at hitting the infantry units. Duster could keep an eye in this area because there's plenty of infantry units, battlecopter, and bomber here. So yeah, the Duster is going to reign supreme. Send the Duster down here and start being a bit more aggressive with it. Maybe we could have found one of these targets in front of him. Not sure. Gunboat does strike the lander for a good amount of damage. Does not send the medium tank in the medium tank. Another medium tank. War tank has 2 ammo remaining. And 9 health remaining. It also has 36 fuel remaining. Gunboat can hit twice. Does go for a full fighter, really wants that Duster down. And the anti-airs are getting repaired on up. The max efficiency anti-air is going to be healed up entirely next turn. Good strikes down south. Medium tank can strike the medium tank here, so may push the CO unit down south and engage it. Slowly push his way forward, not being super aggressive. It also does strike the battlecopter. It has a little bit of time before the fighter arrives. The lander is about to drop a unit there, so this lander may want to get back onto that shore. It does get back on that shore. Tank, and bike. 129,000 versus 157, of course, day-to-day, so they're pretty even at the moment. Medium tank does strike the medium tank, but it's inside the aura zone. Cyrus just got his CO power charge up, won't be deployed until next turn. Possibly could be interrupted, hard to say. This bike can fall back here, mech get a boost strike. Then maybe this 5 health, soon be 7 health tank will finish off, and this medium tank will strike the medium tank there. But I don't think Cyrus's medium tank there will go down next turn. Takes it out there. Cyrus is probably going to launch his missile down over here. That's definitely likely a good prime target. Wonder if there's any way that's a max veterancy anti-air can strike the fighter. Don't think the target there was great though. Hitting 3 off tank, yeah, no, he can hit that fighter. Oh, honestly, taking out one of these units there. Oops. Would have been good because it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and would be in range of the fighter. Putting it around in the fighter like that would allow his Duster just a bit more free reign in this region to help deal with the bomber. So I disagree with that. And not to mention, he's going to get hit by the superpower next turn. And he probably COs the bomber there, nukes the war tank. 8 health, anti-air still in the region. Medium tank is basically gone. 2 pretty well veteran tanks in the region. And the fighter could be able to finish with the bomber with the anti-air. Just needs an opening. Takes a battlecopter, so it does not take out the bomber. The tank anti-air will strike the bomber quite nicely. Waits the duster. This temporary airport still captured by blue. There's a medium tank down south. Without Cyrus's tank up there with a little bit passive bonuses, Calder can start steamrolling up north. Start catching the properties area. Right now he's at 22,000 versus 26,000. Takes out the anti-airs. The bomber's at 5 health. It's pretty close to going down. The duster maybe will finish off one shot. The fighter finds his way around. Wasn't paying attention to that. I always forget how far fighters can move. I rarely ever see them. Just need a 4 health anti-air to deal with the 5 health bomber. Cyrus instead of 141 versus 99. Hits a fighter for some damage. Cyrus has now +1 CO zone, plenty of targets in front of him to get past even though superpower this turn. Anti-tank. Cyrus has enough for a superpower. And even puts a fighter on top of the temporary airport, which may be ranged in the anti-air. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. Easy range. Can also, if he can take out the 9 infantry unit there, the anti-air can take out the bomber. This is the war tank. Slowly picks off that battlecopter. Does send a tank in range the anti-tank though. It's a good round into the fighter. It will be covered up to 3 health. They actually ended. That fighter had 1% health left as well, so almost went down there. Also, a strategic strike up there. Seals the tank up north. There's good damage down south. T-copter. Like 2 cities who perhaps be captured next turn. This turn by Calder. Anti-air tank. Interrupts a capture. Yep, 2 properties will be captured by Calder this turn. $25,000 versus 25,000 income now, so the income's finally evened out. Ends his turn. 123 versus 102, so Cyrus has a pretty good advantage at the moment, still about 2 turns. Tank battlecopter. Hits the gunboat down south for a bit of damage. Right now, looks like Cyrus needs to pull out Duster right here to engage the bomber. Does go for full fighter. And Cyrus's fighter is still knocked out for a bit of time. Joins the medium tanks together. Bit of a mech train up north. And Calder is capturing a pair of cities over here, which neither being interrupted. Oh, one does get interrupted. War tank over there helps stabilize that region. Bomber picks off a gunboat. Takes out the tank there and will base lock it and will be base locked. There's nothing for it. Takes out the base locks the seaport as well. Calder, at this point in time, the only chance I think he has winning is going for an HQ rush. Because his southern flank is completely decimated now. And does go ahead and resign. That's angry, saying anything watching, and on to next replay. I have enough time for one more replay tonight. I just need to use the restroom again. I'm drinking a little bit too much food, so please give me a moment. My apologies, I'm back. And let's try to find which replay I have listed. And that appears to be the best. "24 turns. Oops, not the bookmark bar. Control V, not Control B. Oops, actually controlled V rather than Control C of that. I hate daylight savings, it just screws up with my clock. 28 turns. 24 turns. And 25 turns. So it looks like this one here, players. Definitely players we have not selected. Just gotta make sure this one does not be the same players. We sort of did him. But I haven't really cast too much Davis, so this should be fine enough. Greetings everyone, and Grade here for another Advanced Wars Days of Ruin Tiny Wars replay. Small on bottom right side is the green Davis, we got Siler SK. Small on top left side is the orange Cyrus, we have Lucas Ryoka. When it comes to the COs, Cyrus of course is technically a custom CO in Days of Ruin. Standard boarding cost 3, 30, 60, 60. Buys all units additional plus 15 plus 15. And of course for his CO power, does revert his CO back to an unleveled status. COs a unweighted unit for no boarding cost. And you get a 2 damage missile that you can target with your choosing. Davis is, of course, technically a custom CO, because technically he is in the game, but technically he does not have any superpower. Hawk Mother, that's definitely a Borrow Trauma reference, I believe. Standard boarding cost, 1 raise, 2560, 60, so slightly cheaper expansion zone. All units get additional plus 10. All ground units in your CO zone get additional 30% defense. And for his superpower, you get the inverse of plus 40% offense. So you got your defense and guess hammer and anvil and the hammer. Got this map. It starts out with a decent number of properties. Oh, I guess they sent him music. Wow, that's really intense for Waylon. Or not Waylon, Davis, who's a bit more of a, not necessarily a coward, but a little bit more panicky in the game. Waylon's the coward. Davis more is just like, the average Joe's like, I don't know what's going on. I'm just trying to survive. This map does offer a good number of roads there to exfiltrate out of your base, so bike opener is very common in this map. It is 3 base, 1 airport. And we've got pair infantry this turn. Or Cyrus did go for a recon. He may see it, but unlikely. Just a recon rush over the right side to contest. Waylon, or why do I keep on saying Waylon? Davis has not got any assets in the field. We'll have 13,000 monies to work with, so could go for a battle copter. We'll probably go for a tank up here. It goes for a tank down south. Keeps 3,000 funds in his bank. Going for this property there. Could be interrupted by this bike. It would at least do 1 point of damage. And Davis or Cyrus has gone for tank of air. Paul will be sealing it. Interrupts both of those captures there. Oh yeah, definitely got more than 1 point of damage. Does take a shot against the recon. The problem is, well, if he takes out the bike there with the recon, this infantry unit can get a strike on this bike there. Oh, there's that other bike was in range. Never mind. Does take a good shot there. Hits the bike around the infantry unit there, which wastes a bit of funds. That 3 health bike's not going to be great. You do have a tank there. Pulls back both those bikes. Counterattack right here. Battlecopter pair or triple infantry. Cyrus will need to get anti-air out relatively soon. Tank, bike, and no anti-air, so it looks like Cyrus is going to live a little bit dangerously. Tank's push way forward there, get some good hits. This tank is can range it, trying to see if he can move right there, but I don't think so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, may. Nope. So this tank will have to probably push right there, take a shot, and this tank can come clean it up. Not great solution, but a solution. Davis's extra defense really came in handy there, though. Good attacks up north. Battlecopter. And triple infantry and battlecopter. Davis maybe will take up this tank there quite easily. Battlecopter pushing to center. Takes out the tank there, no problem. And of course, this tank probably just fall back. Another tank in reserve, so you can take a shot against this one, which has a good amount of defense to work with. Which just simply has superior firepower as well. Seal's a battlecopter. and pulls back the tank there onto a city. Triple infantry. Does take some good strikes here. Tank artillery infantry. Tank infantry. That's a good strike there on the bike. Takes that infantry unit there as well, up to 51 energy. Remember as well, his superpower does not give him any defense, just gives him a whole bunch of offense. But right now he's doing very well in offense already. Battlecopter pushed pretty far forward. Cyrus's battlecopter is out of range, so he found a hole there for him to utilize. Another battlecopter paired infantry. It's the tank there. But now Cyrus's battlecopter in range of Davis's battlecopter, and with CO power have plus 40% firepower. Going captures there. And I think as well, okay, there's another battlecopter there. I was gonna say, if there's nothing there to threaten a battlecopter, you gotta swoop around, take a shot from there, and just be annoying like that. Decides not to pull out or does have enough power charge for a superpower now. Of course, I was unable to take out the spike there, so this battlecopter cannot strike the other battlecopter. Does take out Davis's command tank, which is a bit of a problem. Tank infantry bike. Another tank. Artillery infantry tank. Interrupts the capture up north. Right now 16,000 versus 14,000 income. It looks like Cyrus gains a lot of good hits there. Can pop the superpower. Won't be able. May want to pull back the battlecopter and deploy something expensive this turn. Maybe medium tank. You can always just reseal another battlecopter. Tank infantry. Artillery straight forward. Tank infantry. Pop superpower there. Did he just hit his own units there? I wonder if the superpower does do friendly fire damage. Wasn't really paying attention to the health beforehand. But does make a good clean sweep there. But got artillery pieces in range, so this 8 health tank will likely be going on down. Tank, bike. 49,000 for 79. Does kill off that unit there. This, yep, just gets struck by the artillery. That one gets struck by the artillery. Saw that tank there. 60,000, 61 versus 56, so they're still pretty even, and both players are slogging each other. The values are not staying pretty high whatsoever, though this is a little bit of a lower income map, particularly for a 3 base. Got it. Didn't memorize the health before, and also I just saw the explosion on top of his own units. And I saw the, when I looked over there, it's like, oh, tank's at 8 health. Wait, did it just do friendly fire damage? My memory right now is not doing all too great. Daylight savings just kicking my butt right now. I hate daylight savings. I really hate daylight savings. Tank infantry. Does take some good damage there. Battle hits that tank. Does finish off that tank there. Of course, Davis does provide extra defense. He has +1 radius, 26 energy out of 25. A lot of these forces are getting pretty close to each other. Battlecopter can strike the battlecopter. And once this battlecopter goes down, Cyrus has no answer to the battlecopter, so that's for anti-air, tank, and bike. Good shots there. Does take Osiris's tank there. Good counterattack there by Davis. Battlecopter, bike, and bike. 74,000 for 62. Good joins there. And overall pulling back, seals the tank. Anti-air, bike, and infantry. Tank, artillery, and infantry. Takes off infantry unit there. Recon, artillery, and artillery. Hits the bike up north. Bike up north hits the bike and surrounds that bike. Bike and infantry, tank, artillery, pushing over to the left. Starts this nice little battle line of tanks here and anti-air. Tank, and infantry. Takes out some of those units there. That battlecopter's not going to do all too much though. Drops the capture down south. Battlecopter, bike. Good damage there. Does have excess CO power now. Davis's extra defense would be useful for the counterattack. He did take out the Cyrus's anti-air, so Davis's battle cop is going to reign a bit more supreme. He also popped the super to get an extra firepower. Takes out infantry unit there. Hits the artillery for 1 point of damage. Hits the tank there. I have a good feeling that Davis will go for superpower. The extra firepower will be very useful, particularly with the battle copters, and help his wounded units push even further. Anti-air tank and bike. Pops superpower. Takes out the anti-air, hits the infantry unit there. Battlecopter strikes the tank there. Takes out the tank there. I just want to point out it does provide defense, offense rather than defense. For those who are just wondering. Battlecopter, infantry, and infantry. Or it's less defense now, so Cyrus can get a pretty nice counterattack. Does get a bit of CO power charge there. Takes the battlecopter. It's the infantry, interrupts the capture. Right now, Cyrus has 15,000 income, Davis has 15,000 income, Cyrus has 19,000 income, so Cyrus does have a good amount of extra income going. Get some good damage up there. The spike has 4 catch blocks remaining, so we'll be capturing that properly next turn. Tank bike. This 1 health battlecopter may just want to join to this 8 health battlecopter, donating what little fuel, ammo, and primarily its level 2 veterancy to that 8 health battlecopter would be very nice. 1 health battlecopter is not going to be all that great. Does use that battlecopter as a bit of a shot blocker. Stops that capture. Anti-air tank and bike. Capture the property in the bottom left. Take 2 more turns to capture it. Thanks to that bike. Hits the infantry unit there, gets 3 energy from it, hits the Cyrus's tank. Artillery getting in melee range. They don't have direct fire capability, but mostly just infantry nearby threaten and a single tank. And the extra defense will help weather the hits. Cyrus is up to 44 energy. And the battlecopter is actually going all the way back to base. Wilson maybe heading to the airport. I really do think he should have tried merging that 8 health battlecopter sooner earlier, but has not really had the opportunity for it. It's the battlecopter there as well. Anti-air is nearby, but does get struck. Got this anti-air nearby as well. But we'll need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, it's in range, barely. Tank infantry. Insert 92,000 versus 81. Gets that kill there. Has superpower available. Launches it. Yep, no friendly fire damage. Trucks the battle copter, hits the artillery, and hits the artillery. And Cyrus's, Davis's tank can be surrounded and maybe shelled by some artillery next turn. Surrounded with a 4 health infantry unit to go right there. Did re-CO this tank here. Use the 7 health bike there. I think we'll just use the 4 health infantry. Trying to put more properties up north. Does have another tank nearby. Interrupts the capture in the center. Tank infantry. Lots of good damage there. Interrupts the capture. Takes the battle copter. Does shell the tank there with the artillery, then finish off his own tank. That property in the bottom left did in fact get captured. And Cyrus has a turn of 102,000 field, while Davis has a turn of 52, so he's pretty far behind at the moment. Took some severe losses. Tank infantry. Takes out some of those units there. Good damage on top right, though right now this full health tank will cause some issues with Cyrus. But he's making immense progress in the center here. He may need to get out anti-tank and put on top of the HQ. And a Davis anti-tank should be nearly indestructible, especially on top of HQ, since it provides, what, right now, plus 60% defense. With the HQ, it will be a plus 100% defense. Be hard to break it. Infantry, tank, battlecopter, and infantry. Positive power there, strikes Davis's command tank. Does strike Davis's command tank there. And looks like it's just going to be a clean sweep for Cyrus. Anti-air bike. And Cyrus does go, or Davis does go and resign. That's Angry saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. As I mentioned beforehand, that shall be my last replay tonight, so everyone, thank you for watching.